Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about natal sun square Uranus, and I'm excited. I've wanted to do this video for a while, and I just know you guys are gonna hate it. No, I'm just joking. But this square does tend to show up in people who are not going to be told by anybody who they are. You know who you are, and there's so much independence. There's actually even a bit of what I found is like a hypersensitivity of being told what to do or being told um, yeah, who they are. There's this real like Uranian energy here that doesn't really like to listen to people at all times unless they're someone that they really respect. But yeah, there's a real like contrarian energy with this that if somebody says you're this, you're gonna make sure to tell me in the comments that in fact you are not this and you are the opposite of this. And um, anyways, I'm just joking with you guys. I actually love you guys. I think you guys are awesome, and I'm excited to do this aspect. My late husband in spirit had a triple conjunction. Actually, even ascendant was maybe in there too, of Sun, Venus, Jupiter, all conjunct in Leo, squaring Uranus. So I'm excited to talk about this aspect as I just think of his personality, which I loved and I still love, from spirit. Yeah, it's just a really exciting aspect to have in your natal chart. You do not lead a conventional life with this square in your natal chart. And even if you do appear to lead a conventional life with this square, there is something very unusual about you in a very basic level. Like, let's say, even if you do, like, okay, you do have a 9 to 5 job, but on your breaks, you're studying something that nobody even knows about, and it's like, you're a revolutionary. Or okay, maybe you have the 9 to 5 job, but you drive there in like a race car or something like that. There's something just very eccentric and different about you. And you actually, because this is the sun with this square, you sometimes, it depends on the upbringing, but sometimes it's like you want to be seen in your eccentricity, you want to be seen in your differentness, you like really want to be seen for these qualities in you that are very unique and different. Like, you want to stand out for how different you are. But at the same time, whenever you do stand out in that way, you can also have like huge anxiety about that, because what could have happened is in childhood with this square, the father or a masculine presence or, something to do with the upbringing was very unorthodox or eccentric or unreliable, maybe even physically not there. Uranus can show sudden shocking breaks. So maybe there was like a sudden shocking departure of the father figure or something like that. So there's something in your own energy that is, as far as your masculine energy goes, very unreliable. And so, what can happen with this is that you are that person who, last minute you cancel the plans, or you're late, or you're not showing up at all, or you're disappearing off the earth, or you're something like that. So there can be many sudden shocking like upsets and actions that you do, but a lot of this is based on this unreliable feeling that you had with your father and masculine energy in general when you were young. So it could be in some cases that the father there was such a shock there that there was some form of abuse or something like that, or it was just like there was something very unusual or different about the upbringing with this square, and this instilled into you this like need to be different, this need to be your own unique individual self, but then at the same time, a huge anxiety in being that unique self. So it's quite a contradiction. And I mean, it does also depend on what signs this square is taking place in, if you will express that individuality or if you won't, and then it will drive you crazy every moment of every day that you're not being able to be your authentic self. But usually with this one, you're going to feel more incapable of repression in any way. And like, if you have parts of your personality that are hard to get along with, it's like for you to repress those would be like for you to be denying yourself oxygen. And that's what it can feel like. So we can see actually quite a lot of genius with this square. We can see because the way that you see the world, the way that you see life is so unique and different that, you know, there can be a lot of creativity and a lot of innovation, and your ability to understand things, to understand astrology. I mean, like some of these people are going to be actual geniuses, and it'll be like unorthodox where their wisdom lies. Like it'll be like you wouldn't expect it. Like you wouldn't expect them to be like so intelligent or so knowledgeable about a certain subject. It's like totally like off the wall or different or something like that, right? So they do have this potential to be geniuses and just some of the most brilliant thinkers, but they're not super open to, like I've said, outside advice. Like if you try to tell them something, they don't hear it and they can take that as a personal offense. So there is actually a sensitivity with this square, probably because of the childhood, the father issues, where they maybe do on some level feel a type of insecurity for their individuality and like their solar energy, their basic, like their confidence and self-esteem, and their like, so they can be known to fluctuate greatly in their self-esteem and their confidence and their purpose. Like, you know, one day they're feeling really good, really like on the high, and the next day it's like they're on a low. And so they're very prone to sudden shocking actions and sudden shocking impulsive changes of career or changes of lifestyle or breakups, or just impulsiveness in general can really hinder them in every way. Now, with this square, you also want to be very cautious when driving. Anything where you're doing, you know, anything sudden and like it could be dangerous. So you want to, I mean, you always want to warn as an astrologer, Uranus aspects can cause accidents. This square, it could also show that there is a very erratic energy. There's also like an electricity coming through this person's being that is very strong. It can be hard for them to relax. It can be hard for them to go to sleep at night. It can be hard for them to even sit still for any length of time because of this Uranian energy. So that can give a lot of anxiety and a very restless nature. And, you know, as much as like this is going to sound like you will not want to do this, but like meditation is like so crucial here. Like actually sitting, like where you're not studying something, you're not running around, you're not, you know, even doing anything, just sitting and like meditating. Now that might seem like complete torture, but it's crucial to just try to practice some form of meditation. And the reason why, not that you have to keep this practice for your whole life or anything, because I know that's just torture for you guys, but what you need to learn is like that. And I also, there's certain aspects that I teach, like you do need to do this, and this is one of these aspects, is like pausing before action, before reaction, whether positive or negative. So like even when you're really like happy, you also don't want to make a decision then, or when you're really mad, or when you're really you know, feeling anxious or restless. It's like in any of these states, you want to like take a breath. We could also tell this to the people with moon Uranus aspects for sure. But especially with the sun Uranus aspects, it's like, because the sun is like a future oriented placement. It's like where you're going in life. It's your confidence. It's like a big part of your purpose in the external world. So before making any major decisions about basically anything, especially career, you want to take like a long, deep breath and then take 20 more if you have this square. And anything you do impulsively, it can cause great damage. Like one of my favorite books says that, like, with this square, it's like all that you've worked for like decades could be undone with one single impulsive action. And it does tend to be related to career or basic self-worth and self-esteem, but it could also be relationship as well, where you can just suddenly do something shocking or upsetting to a partner or to someone in your family. Like, your feelings can change very rapidly, and you don't want to take action in any of those moments when you're emotional or when you're having that Uranian erratic energy flow through you. Now, sure enough, you might have some genius realizations during these waves, like I would call it like Uranian waves, but you still want to give them time to like percolate, because of the nature of the square and it being a difficult, tense, frustrating, hard aspect. You can tend to be your own worst enemy with this one, and your impulsiveness, and it's you might try to blame other people, not as much as the people with the opposition will, but you might try to blame other people and the outer world, but a lot of your problems are because of your own inability to really sit with yourself. And a lot of it is maybe coming from a lack of patience with the self because of how erratic and how the childhood did not feel solid, right? There's like, you need to create a sense of solidness in yourself and groundedness and security and support and grounding into the earth, and then you're going to make a lot better decisions. People are going to respond to you a lot better too, because you'll be more compassionate, more listening to other people when you can take that space and take a deep breath and like, really be there in the moment rather than being on to the next thing that you're going to do after. So presence is important with this square, and this is not an easy square to deal with. Uranus, when it's in a square aspect, can bring shocking, upsetting things into the life, and like I said, like even accidents or being close to death, even because of your own impulsive actions. I mean, that's like probably worst case scenario, or even death because of your own impulsive actions. And I know about that. So it's really crucial to not act impulsively with this square, and also to recognize like you're with sun, especially if this is in fixed signs, sometimes your ego is like too crystallized with like a Uranus square. It's almost like you have to open up to like more support, like more, that's the other thing about this square is like you're so self-reliant, you want to do it all yourself, and you think you know best, and like, in some cases you are more of a genius than other people. That is absolutely true, but still, like, no man is an island, and like you would do well to allow in support. And this hyper independence, this is like a very like independent placement, so it's great for actually having an identity and like knowing who you are and having a strong sense of self and a strong sense of boundaries in yourself too. But you can be kind of a loner with this square because you're not as open to people, or you're not as open to help from the outside world when we have this square. So it produces a very exciting life. You'll never stop when you have this square. There's always going to be something happening, and you are really here to shine in a big way. A lot of famous people have this square because there's just something exhilarating about the personality. There's something enlivening. There's something, so exciting and so genius. Like I said, so brilliant. You're truly like one of a kind with this square. Even though I'm describing everybody with this square, I'm sure that you personally, there is no one else like you. And like, you are like watching well, you know how hypnotizing it is to like watch a fire or something. Like that's what it's like to watch, especially if fire signs are involved. Someone with a Sun-Uranus square. They're just incredible, exciting individuals with so much creativity and so much to offer the world, but you just get in your own way sometimes with your erratic actions and behaviors. And like I said, the meditation thing, as annoying as that probably sounds, is like crucial when we have this square. Um, and yeah, there's just really something unconventional about the life and about the personality. Like this person, like when you're talking to people with this, they have lived experiences that no one else has. And they see the world in a way that no one else does. And they're extremely memorable people. And they're quirky. They're fun, and it's pretty delightful to be around them in a personal relationship. Um, their erraticness and their inability to just relax at times can be frustrating. But they also offer, like I said, a lot of excitement and fun. And yeah, never a dull moment with Sun squaring Uranus in the natal chart. I would love to know your experience of this aspect if you have it. And um, I love you guys. I hope that wasn't too harsh. Yeah, I'd love to know your experience. Thank you for your requests, you guys. Keep those requests coming, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.